So good evening students. So let us start another topic here in the moving charges and magnetism, that is magnetic force on a current carrying conductor and motion in magnetic field. Okay, so the first topic is magnetic force on a current carrying conductor. So let us consider a conductor of length L, okay, and which has a cross-sectional area A, which is placed in a magnetic field, external magnetic field. So the total number of charges in the rod will be NaL. So therefore the total number of charges will be NaL, and N, where N is the charge density, and if Q is the magnitude of the charge or each charge on the conductor, then the total charge will be NaLQ. Okay, so here first of all I'll repeat it again. Let us take a conductor of length L and uniform cross section, which has a uniform cross section area A, and that rod is placed in a external magnetic field B vector, and N be the charge density. Therefore total number of charges in the rod will be NaL. Okay, so now Q is the charge on the charge carrier. So therefore total number of charge will be NaLQ. So now let us take, there is a steady current flowing in the conductor, then there will be a average drift velocity Vd. So this about drift velocity we have spoken in the last chapter, that is current electricity. So Vd is nothing but the drift velocity, whereas it is the velocity of the charge particles or the charges in the external field. Okay, so then when there is velocity, the charges experience, and B vector is the external magnetic field. It is not the magnetic field due to the charges, but it is the external magnetic field. Now the force on these charges will be, so what force it experience, what type of force the charges will experience, we will see. So force F vector equal to, so it will be in the direction of the drift velocity and the magnetic field. So therefore it has a velocity vector F vector equal to NaLQ, cross product of Vd, that is drift velocity, into the external magnetic field. Okay, so from previous chapter we know that what is current density. Current density is J equal to NQVd. So this is the current density, where current density is the vector quantity but current is a scalar quantity. Okay, we will substitute for NaVd here as J. So therefore this equation, that is F equal to above equation, becomes F vector equal to AL into G cross B. So how we have taken here, we have substituted for NQVd as J. Now what is J? It is the ratio of current density to the cross section area of the conductor, right? So therefore current from this we can take it as J into A. So again we can take F is equal to I into L cross B. So L is the length vector and B is the external magnetic field. So this is a cross product, right? It is taken as in equation number 1. Now F equal to IL B sin theta. So this is the equation for the current carrying conductor. Now if this is a straight conductor, this will be a final equation, but if the conductor is crooked, that is in this irregular shape, if it is, then what we will take is we will consider the small distance dl, or the small length dl, and we will summate all those length vectors, small vectors. So therefore what the equation becomes is summation of such force F vector is equal to I summation of I dl b sin theta, b will take here summation of dl cross b. So this will be the equation for the irregular conductor, that is summation of S vector is equal to summation of I dl cross b vector. Okay, so let us now go to the next topic, that is motion in a magnetic field. So now we will take the charged particle in a magnetic field, which then if in the presence of the magnetic field, what type of force is experienced by the charged conductor or the charged particle, that we are going to see. So now charged particle has a mass m, okay, and it is moving with a velocity v vector in a uniform magnetic field v. Now what are the force it experiences? Let us see. So F is equal, and if it is moving in a uniform magnetic field, so here cross marks, what it signifies is that magnetic field is moving into the plane of the paper. So now if there is a charge here, the charge experience circular motion from the center. That figure I will show you afterwards. So here force experienced by the charge will be F equal to Q into V vector cross B vector. So V and B are perpendicular to each other. Now let us go to the next topic, next slide. So if theta, or if so here this is the velocity of the charged particle, and here this is the force. So these two are perpendicular to each other. So when it has a maximum force, when theta is 90 degree and sin theta equal to 1. So therefore force equal to QVB. That will be the maximum force experienced by the charge in the circular motion. So when it is moving in a circular motion, this force is balanced by the centripetal force. Okay, that is given by mv square by r. So again we will equate these two equations. Force, that is mv square by r equal to qvb. From here we will get the radius of this circular path of the charged particle, that is r equal to mv by qb. So consider this as equation number 2. So in the first year you have studied about the relation between linear velocity and the angular linear frequency and angular frequency. So therefore omega is the angular frequency, v equal to omega into r. So omega equal to 2 pi nu. Again we can write this as v by r. From here, that is omega is equal to v by r, we can write from this equation. So therefore we can substitute for v from this equation. So that is we will have qb by m. So therefore again nu equal to, from this equation, that is the 2 pi nu equal to qb by m if you take. So from this we have nu is equal to, that is frequency of this charged particle in the circular motion will be qb by 2 pi m. So understood? So here nu is equal to qb by 2 pi m. This will be the frequency of the circular motion of the particle. So now if we see in a the 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional way, it will have a helical motion. Okay. So now the velocity component will be divided into 2 here, that is Vn and Vp, or we can take from here, it will be divided into 2 components, we have here diagram. Okay, so here v velocity vector is having has two components, Vp and Vn. So now Vp is parallel to the field and Vn is perpendicular to the field. Hence we will consider only Vn here. So now if the charge particle is here and it experiences a force, it has a helical motion in this manner. Okay, now pitch. Let us consider the pitch. Pitch is nothing but the distance between these two circular motion, right? So now distance means we have velocity into time. Therefore pitch is given by P equal to Vp into T, that is equal to 2 pi m Vp by Q into B. Okay, so now and from here we can take the time of revolution. So T is equal to 1 upon V, that is equal to 2 pi m by QB, and this is the time period of the revolution of the charged particle in a external magnetic field. Thank you for watching. Do like, share and subscribe to the channel and encourage this channel to grow so that I can complete all the chapters in the physics part. Thank you.